Speaker, sir. Muuga.
Muuga.
M-U-G-A-A.
Muuga.
Yes.
Very good. So, to a Speaker, Honorable Gladys Boss.
Lesuda, MP Samburu West.
Kimani Shongo.
Nelson Koech, MP Belgut.
We will start tenses and why you think swear with.
The Bible. The Bible.
So be upstand.
And nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Take your seat.
For giving me an opportunity on this nomination. My name is Hearing, where I did a bachelor's degree for a master's degree in the University of Nairobi, and specialized on water resources. I have progressed in my career growth. I have progressed in my career growth. Institution of Engineers of Kenya as a corporate member. Institution of Engineers of Kenya as a corporate member. That every Kenya as a corporate member. That every Kenya in my little scope that have served so far, is
Answer the questions as they are asked. Answer the questions as they are asked.
And you know that the
questions as they are asked.
And you know that the finance bill. And you know that the Finance Bill 2024, example having, since the majority of farmers are small, using food the whole year, so we want to see how you can using food the whole year. So we want to see how you can leverage on that. Food the whole year. So we want to see how you can leverage on that. And leverage on that. Of will be water plants as opposed to big dams, which you don't have money for, now, and also
Speaker, sir. I would like to respond to honorable shortage of funding. The Ministry of Water, the State Department of Irrigation, has said a budget cut of 2.7 billion. 2.7 billion. That means we need to raise funds. Raising funds as one of the ways to exploit the end user, the consumer. This in the ministry we have a WASREP, water services at the right tariffs. WASREP is responsible for the tariffs or water problems, especially in the areas you've mentioned of Yatta, etc. And the Exchequer, the National Treasury, get value for money. Thank you. Value for money. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
If you are to...
Majority Leader.
If you are to explore the possibility of using PPPs for the large-scale dams. Together, PPPs for the large-scale dams. Together with using those dams for agriculture and leasing land, farming for agriculture and leasing land, farming, and at the same time developing, and at the same time develop land, develop the dams for use in the land, develop the dams for use in the irrigation projects. Two, I have seen you have had. Two, I have seen you have had quite some experience with. And one of your state departments intend to deal with the issue of pollution, working again together with the Ministry of.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. In response to the question from it is true that to develop large-scale dams, we will need the chairperson or the speaker. Are multi-purpose dams in sustaining and developing. The concept, Honorable Chungwa through the speaker. It is Honorable Chungwa through the speaker. It is prudent to also have a PPP to lease land. Water is a human right. Water is a human right, and also what.
Could you tell us, since you've worked in the water? Could you tell us, since you've worked in the water sector, do you have any success? Do you know?
Thank you for. Do you know? Thank you for your question, Honorable. Done of them, but there are many case studies where actually in the development of when doing a dam, we expect benefits apart from livestock and people conflicts due to drought and considered are domestic water
Of a young person, good scholar, and that of a clean slate. That shaking of your head is signifying a determination. That you will not get wrong.
The fact that I have diligently served in my previous positions. As you've said, I come as a clean slate. I'm not beholden to anyone. I can't sign the society. We have to root it out. One way or the other, and to lead from the front. And if they are capable, And if they are capable of this, I understand we are constitutionally bound. We are constitutionally bound. EACC and other investigative bodies take their course, and the law should be followed.
Want to hear that? And what innovations will you be? Want to hear that? And what innovations will you be proposing in the cabinet to make sure? That the young people of this country.
I would like to respond to Honorable Nelson on youth agriculture. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the young people are advocating for services. I am not naive, and I will appreciate as a State Department of Irrigation. Irrigation is mandated to harvest, store, mandated to increase the acreage of irrigation, in the country. I will first of all start by agriculture is not a, by the way, a profession in itself. It is an economic act. We need to understand that with other ministries such as the Ministry of Education, that projects such as micro irrigation, that the ministry is rolling, to irrigate land for subsistence farming, Those activities, who I understand are approximately 800 to 1,000 to 500 to 1,000 to 500,000 young people are getting out. 100,000 young people are getting out of tertiary institutions. If they have these private entrepreneurs to further these skills acquired at is changing every day. Technology changes in technology comes with works. Most of them changes in technology comes with works. Most of them are people depend on memory. So I would encourage innovation in activities such as modeling, which will empower and employ young people. WSPs, where these meters I would also be a champion to developing policies, not only in my ministry, but in other issues.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Naisula.
Thank you so much.
Naisula.
Found suitable by this committee and the National Assembly to be the CS of water new ones. And you should just have in mind if approved, these members of parliament and many others who are older than you, bigger than you, please and what purpose they serve. You know, they're all serving the same community.
Hold, Eric will take another one. Posing.
Kind of industry you're going in, and maybe kind of industry you're going in, And maybe 12 Honorable Chair and Chairman and Speaker, 12 Honorable Chair and Chairman and Speaker, two things. One, which costed about like 10 billion Kenya money, billion Kenya money, but it's not complete. Now, Now with the austerity measure stall, and I hope you know what it means. I hope you know what it means. If a project is stalling like 10 billion, if a project is stalling like 10 billion, we might do 20 billion. We might do 20 billion. So, and I want to tell you, nominee, should you be appointed, please make sure take care of this. Should you be appointed, please make sure take care of this. From audit perspective, agencies which run this water, those now regional agencies which run this water, those now regional agencies, they don't pay. So National Treasury ends up more. What will be your opinion as you come in? Will you agree with that opinion?
You have made your point.
Will you agree with that opinion?
You have made your point.
Or is it too long?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the reason. Or is it too long?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the reason.
You've got the question?
If I may respond to...
Got the question?
If I may respond to Honorable Nesula's question, on the lean line between completion of project question, on the lean line between completion of project I've already Kenyans and the taxpayer has already sunk money. Kenyans and the taxpayer has already sunk money in these projects. How do they get value for their money? Through connections. How do they get value for their money? Through connections. The only proof that the House members may want new projects in their to be reasonable and we'll ask the Speaker, the same matter might come to your house again. And we'll ask the Speaker, the same matter might come to your house again to provide a chain of incomplete projects throughout the country, and the Vision 2030 incomplete projects throughout the country, and the Vision 2030 will not achieve that by 2030. Our constitution is very clear, and the Water Act 2016 on this consultation is very clear, and the Water Act 2016 on this consultation, because I'm a team player, and wide research to see whether, don't look at the size, and I think I have proven that for many years that I've lived. Thank you. Honorable was saying through the Speaker, and I understand that his dam is approximately 50%. And I understand that his dam is approximately 50% to one of the PPP projects. And I'm also aware, as he said, of the costs that incur when a contractor stops work, him exactly to his dam. As I discuss and get facts on export on the same, and if our finances are not adequate, projects, as I said, development agencies that are being serviced by the Exchequer, development agencies that are being serviced by the Exchequer. This came up in the sense that projects were done and what for a long time. No. And what for a long time. No. In their collection during billing, so there is no money remittance to the water development works that should trickle, and we will work to ensure that this water service to Kenyans. And through that, when our payback of these loans. Otherwise, I will have to consult with debt restructuring. Thank you.
Gikaria.
Thank you.
Gikaria.
Thank you very much, Chair. Nothing much on the question here that does it deal in water and sanitation issues? If yes, then how are you going to address as per bullet to
Speaker, sir, address the question from Honorable Gikaria. I understand like-minded engineers, very bright, to be honest, and if approved, back from that. Under the conflict of interest, as I said earlier,
it doesn't mean you have to pull back. It's just that if that company ever gets a contract where you have influence, so that you have no hand in it. So don't tie yourself. Honorable Gikaria is getting you into trouble.
vacate?
Eric, be very. Are you a director of this company?
Yes.
yes,
Does it deal in the water sector?
the company deals in water, sanitation.
Okay. Robert.
I see that you have done extensive work. Thank you very much for that kind of work. I'm a young person, not yet. Water to come to Mombasa, the water needs, so this is one of the unique cases in Kenya where you have water has to go issues with power that is used for production. Using that water is very, very high, and therefore leading to high electricity bills with region where water has to be generated. What is your practical solution to that problem?
Hold, Eric. Yes,
households everywhere are waiting for water. And they now look at what is your word to them and what should be their expectation from you as
Thank you, Speaker Leafy. And the challenge is you get water. Unfortunately, the coast region is relatively, so flow by gravity becomes a little bit a challenge. But your solution is in Mwache Dam. Unless we sink boreholes in Kilifi, relatively expensive way of doing it. So once Mwache comes in and water is supplied to Mombasa, have Kilifi, and then Malindi. So, and your power expenses will be. Kenyans have waited for Honorable, through the Speaker, Honorable Bragara, as we've said, of ensuring 100% connectivity to all Kenyans by 2033. My word to Kenyans is, I will do all I can. That percentage stands at about 45%. That directly to the water service providers, that Kenyans, that it is a sole responsibility of every Kenyan to conserve the. Is my commitment to the people of Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Menti. And I probably, Engineer Muuga was born in the same hospital I was born in at different times, yes. A span of more than 25, 30 years. About the Kianjuri Dam, which will take water up to Tharaka. Not if you come to do ours, will it be in this lifetime or maybe sanitation, because sanitation is your forte. And it is never being completed. We need sewage everywhere in this country. And the last one is, you have talked about boreholes. I don't know if you're aware, in Nairobi, is borehole the way to go to get water when the aquifers are already dry? So how would you approach that, and how are you going to control it? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Facilities boreholes that have been drilled over the years, because there was even a time NGC. There's no borehole that has ever been drilled here. There are two, but they are all not functioning. The interventions on and sustain this repair and maintenance across the country where these boreholes have been drilled.
On Kiunjuri Dam, in this regard, as you've correctly pointed that my Kenyan National Water Master Plan, I'll review. These dams are not done because, and as you said,
Point of order.
Yes.
The nominee, although he comes from my county, and he's aware of, maybe he's lived out of Meru for long, so let us not be put in the ones who are satisfied. We are not satisfied.
I'm well aware of regions in Meru, like the RAF. We look at I've lived in Meru my entire life, first of all, to clarify that. So I am not serve them on need basis. If your region is truly deserving of that. The next question was sanitation in Meru. I am aware of that I'll find out and get back to you. Through the chair, the responsibility of the WSP. And facilities. For this to happen, it's a less than 20 to allow the WSPs have adequate through the speaker in ensuring that are well mapped in a centralized about. It is easier to pinpoint the year when they were built and to pinpoint when their time comes for. Where you noted there was an article circulating that talked of 6. I am aware that regulation of are underfunded and the resources in terms of personnel is merit. Meritocracy should be a key conversation. Secondly, our boreholes could also be running dry because of their turning into a concrete jungle. I will work in partnership with, to the point that when it rains, okay, you realize when it rains in our roofs direct the water to the drains, and the water flows very fast past
You are empowered to formulate policy for the country for protection of water, securing sufficient residual water. Boreholes some are even 50 meters apart, if even less, everywhere.
Thank you. I understood that you said you were 30 years of age. So in the demographic bracket, it puts the millennium. Yeah, so you are basically closer. You are the closest the Gen Zs. We can do it, one of our own did it. And if you fail, that is the end of the young people's agitation in this country. You are going in. Then secondly, there is the problems of water in schools. How do I want you to juxtapose that one with the supply? It has been found out that it can actually supply. Speaker.
Yes.
Just as to say that these questions were actually sent to me by Gen Zs.
We have the Mwache Dam, we have the Marere Spring, which is shared between Mombasa County and also Taita Taveta County. And most issues, and that is why we have not realized the Mzima Spring too, because they are undercurrent politics on dependence on rain-fed agriculture. So what kind of interventions are you going? Lastly, are you still believing that the Kenya Kwanza government is going to realize one of the...
Yes, Maridi, tell us what you know and avoid what you don't.
And he's talking about this being a control experiment. I will put it to this house that
some aquifer somewhere. Is it the Turkana one?
Questions. The Lotiki.
Okay, yeah. First, I will cite that I'm vastly experienced on water and sanitation. That the ministry is not short of professionals, and it is not, if approved by this house, is the ethos of the private sector and I have worked at different stakeholders. On the question of drought, I will submit to this house that it is unfortunate. Don't believe in active maintenance. I believe in proactive. If we know a certain school, say, is supposed to learn as a ministry, solution to this would include gutters, simple solutions. Before we quantum leap, we have to start from the provide them with tanks to start with. This is taking into account the fact that the population of schools and then the long-term problem solution, drought and water scarcity. Why is shared among schools during dry periods. The long-term storage dams. Right now, our water storage starts at about 1. The target is to achieve above 1,000 meter cubic per capita in the long run. If approved by this house, the ministry has groundwater is in form of, I got your data from the Gen Z who is asking that question. I would like him to provide research because I believe for groundwater harvesting and storage. Thank you so much, sir. Honorable, if I may, I will say I was part of the team that looked at the distribution network in Taita Taveta a while back. I understand in the 16, it is the mandate of the cabinet secretary under this docket I'm nominated for to ensure, I will ensure we have smooth sharing of resources because all these are another Kenyan somewhere else. But I'll get back to you with a proper written.
Sorry, Sharia?
Mr. Speaker, I guess I had stepped out. That's why you think I'm not here anymore.
Yes.
I'd gone to the mosque poll question. The right to clean seriously hampered by the lack of water infrastructure investments in the rural areas. You consider championing extra complementary funding for rural Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Saku is in Marsabit. If this House approves your nomination, you'll sit at the top. Then there's no water in Marsabit. We need to know this time. And there's no flowing water. But the Israelis have piped water once in a blue moon. They live, and every household or every house constructed in Egypt from earth dams or what in the what is coming into your mind? Some water, maybe some clean water. Finally, with some industrialization, with budget cut austerity measures, and also with because water is life. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Eric, being a young engineer and worked in the industry, Kenyans are yearning for clean water and they are also yearning for the existing master plan. And if we are given an opportunity to realize the dream of clean water as quickly as possible. And the second one, what timelines are you foreseeing to finish some of the major dams like Thwake?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to start with the question whether I would invest more on rural areas. I understand that sanitation, improved sanitation. And to do that, we have these two, Honorable Chungwa and Lesuda, way that they are attractive to private investors to start with. Water service providers, yeah. So the county government sets up water service providers. Water service providers, I can work in synergy with your county government and understand why the water service provider solve this problem. We would have to have the right personnel, have these water service providers function as to international developers, our development partners. I'm talking about quantities, water. Question from Honorable Russo, if I may answer this through the speaker. How do I feel that Marsabit don't have water? I am sad, as you said. That is how I feel. And it is very unfortunate. Israel is their available water resources, Honorable Speaker, go to the ocean. Since we have seen the devastating, the havoc caused is what I talked about, water pans that are relatively inexpensive. But the long term, so have to pipe networks to your people of Marsabit and also enable them. I know Marsabit, so it's a matter of funding. Question of measures and funding, I think I've covered that well. I answered your question on the water problems in Marsabit. Pointed out that I will clarify myself. This is my position. Our water master plan is a blueprint. It is but a guide.
I'm referring to the national master plan for water. Gives Kenya the way forward on 11 years. Is it working? Because you have been on. Are you comfortable with our master plan, or you'll need to go back to the drawing board? And
the problem is not the master plan. The problem is because of inadequate resources. Your second question on Duarte.
In water resource in this country, it is in public domain, and many of these. And also we have even seen there were allegations where our CS and our PS, how you will ensure there is equity in every part of this country, regardless of how they vote, regardless of...
If you ask out there, people who have worked with me, they know my stand on integrity and honesty. The question of whether I will allocate them dams.
They were very excited that we will be taking water to the graduated in the year.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
As an engineer working those projects, how come you only registered in 2024? So you're working...
a number of years. And secondly, it also...
Details. The question was very simple.
Yes.
When you are overseeing the projects, were you required to be... Or not, when you are not registered, you work under registered.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's as simple as that. May I ask you a few questions about yourself?
I don't know what happens. Immediately after swearing in, they are removed from the register of young people. If the committee feels he's fit for the job, he will go there as a young. But when we were vetting him, he was a young man or a young lady. I remember very well, a young person. That's my comment, Mr. Speaker. But the other thing, he is from the...
favor, and you get approved. You are a CS because you are a competent Kenyan.
Thank you.
Capable middle age, the old, the very old, without fear or favor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Not get the world per day. And it's going to be upon you to assist this country. Always an elephant in the room for us. The 1902 Nile Treaty between Egypt care about the source of the water. The treaty has been amended twice in Ethiopia and Egypt. And Kenya, that feeds the Nile, is also an interested party. So you should also look at that when you get to office.
Chairman,
Yes.
just to add on what you have said, the issue of Migingo Island also with Uganda.
Yes, the waters of the lake. Yes, now, Eric, you just take them and go and see how to live with them.
Thank you, Speaker, sir.
Yes. So when you serve people, also go up to every village. Eric, have you ever been mentioned adversely in any investigations on matters of integrity?
No, sir.
No, sir. Hold any position in any political party within Kenya?
No, sir.
What is your net?
My net worth is that 1 million Kenya shillings.
That 1 million. Made, what is it?
I come from a region that is engaged in farming. It lands on unplanted crops, tea, if you've been to the region.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay, Eric, thank you very much. Yes.
I was asking whether he has a car.
Do you own a car?
I have chosen to invest instead of buying a car to start with.
Approved and appointed. And you get into the office. And tomorrow a major contractor in the water sector
No.
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
his MP, Honorable John Paul, when he entered Parliament.
But President Uhuru bought him a car and he
Yes, but
accepted it.
you see, if he is appointed as a CS, he will be getting mortgage. I mean,
Order, Dawood.
Mr. Speaker.
There is no member of this committee who has a nominee. We're just asking him questions. They are not meant to trick him in any situation.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Which one are you dreaming that one day? Which one?
Eric, don't answer that.
Honorable Speaker, I will need your protection in future.
Did he answer your question?
Yes.
No,
he didn't.
Offered a car by.
He said no. Okay. You are going into a ministry like many others. You know the service ministries, water, roads. They are infiltrated by mega. You must, as a young person, resist their approaches to you and fight them out of the ministry. Help Kenyans.
Thank you.
Eric, we are done with you. We have looked at your papers against what we have. We find them okay. There was no memorandum. Go back to your other engagements and wait to hear your fate from this committee.
Thank you, honorable members, for the engagement. I appreciate comments from all of you and also messages of goodwill, and I hope that this committee rules in my favor. Have a
all in the gallery. Honorable members, you now break for lunch for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, members, then we're back to take 2 more, and we close.